Hello there, my name is Jacob Hyman, and today we'll be talking about the Beauty of Bauhaus, Tel Aviv's White City. In this PowerPoint, we will be learning about exactly what Bauhaus is, what this architecture style truly is, and why it's so different and important in some ways. What are its impacts in Tel Aviv, how it's actually shaped the city through its kind of architectural design, and some of the modern day examples that are peppered all around Tel Aviv. So now then, what exactly is Bauhaus? Well, the style originated from the Bauhaus art school in Germany. The school operated from 1919 to 1933, and the word Bauhaus actually means house of building, or as it was taken to be called because it was the name of the school, it was called the School of Building. It taught this architecture style mainly. It's a German modern style, and it was actually one of the very first early modern styles of architecture. Bauhaus revolves around three basic ideas. It shuns ornamentation and favors functionality. When you're looking at this image right now, while there's a lot of crazy shapes going on, it is very basic. You get a lot of just like squares and basic shapes. It's not doing anything too out of the ordinary. It uses asymmetry and regularity versus symmetry. It is completely evident when you're looking at this image right now. There's all these crazy going everywhere supports, cubes, rectangles, circles, all different kinds of shapes, giving this a very, very interesting silhouette. Now, it grasps architecture in terms of space versus mass. What this means is that you're going to get more of a size than you are going to get content, in the sense where it's very hollow, I would like to say. It's just a lot of building, but not a lot of stuff on the inside. Now then, the question is, with Bauhaus being a style pretty much only in Germany, how did it make its way down to Tel Aviv, the city in Israel? Well, that achievement is all thanks to one man, Sir Patrick Geddes. Geddes was a Scottish urban planner who was commissioned to make a new plan for Tel Aviv. Come around the 1920s to 1925, the city had a huge influx of new immigrants, and so he was commissioned by the mayor to actually make a new plan so as to house the people and make the city just a lot more beautified, make it look good. Well, in this plan, Geddes used a heavy amount of Bauhaus architecture. He wanted to give the city its own distinct look, and the good thing was that the city didn't have a true look up until this point. So Geddes was pretty much given free rein as to design the city architecturally as he chose. Now, with it being in Israel, the style had to be adapted to suit the weather of Tel Aviv. First things first was the color white was chosen so to decrease the heat. It's just not going to absorb the heat, and it's just going to make it a lot less hot. It's going to make it a lot cooler. Big windows were replaced with small recessed windows. Again, a lot of this change, it has to do with the heat. Smaller windows allow the people to still see outside, but they're not going to get so much beating heat on the inside. And slanted roofs were replaced with flat ones. They provided areas to socialize in the cool of the evening. Again, just another thing to help with the heat of Tel Aviv, being a very, very hot city in the summer. And so here we are today. And when we look at Tel Aviv and its Bauhaus architecture, we notice a couple of things. First off, it's something very prominent in the city. In the 1980s, when the first couple of high-rises were being built in the city, a lot of the Bauhaus architecture built by Geddes in the 20s was rarely even being touched. And now coming today in 2014, it's not being destroyed, but in fact it's being revamped and reworked to fit today's modern era. This is due in part to a couple of non-profit organizations pointing out the importance of Bauhaus in Tel Aviv. Two of these being, in 1996, when the White City was named a World Monuments Fund Endangered Site, and in 2003, when the White City was named by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization as a World Heritage Site. These acts have, in turn, helped to preserve the Bauhaus architecture, but more importantly, have helped to increase tourism all throughout Tel Aviv. And again, with the way that the Bauhaus has been integrated into the modern era, it's been done very well. As you can see below with Dizengoff Square, as the roundabout has basically been destroyed and instead a straightaway path has been put to increase the flow of traffic. But at the same time, the way that the socialization aspect, where the center area was kept so people could talk and have a nice time, has still been kept, but instead it has been raised above, integrating a very nice communal and modern sense in today's Tel Aviv. And yes, there are some reservation plans where if you look of the original 4,000 Bauhaus buildings, some have been refurbished and at least 1,500 will be preserved or restored. And legislation was passed in 2009 that completely protects 1,000 structures. So here are my references, and this concludes my presentation. Again, my name is Jacob Hyman, and I hope that you've learned something about Tel Aviv and its rich history with its Bauhaus architecture. Thank you, and I bid you all adieu.